comes a dime and you climb, and then yeah, people call, say beware, now you're bound to fall. They thought that they were just kidding you. You used to laugh about everybody that was hanging out, and now you don't walk so proud. Now you don't talk so loud about having to scrounge in your next beyond. How does it feel? How does it feel to be on your own with no direction? The finest school's alright, Miss Lonely, but you know you're only used to get juiced in it. Nobody taught you how to live out on the street, but now you're gonna have to get used to it. You see, you never compromise with a mystery tramp, but now you realize that he's not selling alibis as you stare into the vacuum of his eyes, and he said, do you want to make up to your own? How does it feel? How does it feel to be on your own with no direction? People drinking, thinking that they got it made, exchanging all kinds of precious gifts. If to take that diamond ring, you better pawn it, babe. You used to be so amused, and a pony in the rags was the language that he used. Now go to him now, calls you can't refuse. When you got nothing, you got nothing to lose. You're invisible now. You got no secret to conceal. How does it feel? How does it feel to be on your own with no direction at all?
it's a truthful vengeance that could pin us to the floor. Brought a few more people on and put the fear in a whole lot more. Ah, here she comes, here she comes, here she comes again. The same old crazy lady from the brow of the super brain. She'll scratch this world to pieces as she comes on like a friend. Couple of songs from your old scrapbook could send her home again. Gave your heart to every bedsit room, at least a picture on the wall. And you sat behind a million pair of eyes and told them how they saw. Then we lost your train of thought. Your paintings are all your own. While troubles are rising, we'd rather be scared together than alone. Oh, here she comes, here she comes, here she comes again. Same old crazy lady from the brow of the super brain. She'll scratch this world to pieces as she comes on like a friend. But a couple of songs from your old scrapbook could send her home again. Now hear this, Robert Zimmerman, though I don't suppose we'll meet. Ask your good friend Dylan if it is a while down the old street. Tell him we lost his poems, so we're writing on the walls. Give us back our unity, give us back our family. You're every nation's refugee, don't leave us without sanity. Oh, here she comes, here she comes, here she comes again. The same old painted lady from the brow of the super brain. She'll scratch this world to pieces and she comes on like a friend. But a couple of songs from your old scrapbook could send her home again. Ah, a couple of songs from your old scrapbook could send her home again. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. Here she comes.
Just around the corner from the Alpine Inn and up the hill from Finicky Frank's, this is Pacific Street Blues. Start off this week's edition of Pacific Street Blues with music from David Bowie, oddly enough, in a track called Song for Bob Dylan. We also had a track there from the Rolling Stones, which they had the courage to finally cover, like a Rolling Stone, of course, written by Bob Dylan. They covered it in 1995. And so today, predictably, we're going to take a look at the music of Bob Dylan in our special Spotlight show. And to help me do that, we have a resident expert in from Berkeley, California. We're going to talk about Bob Dylan. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Rick. I'm excited to be here.
All right. And have you done a radio show before?
I've never done a show like this one, that's for sure.
I remember driving down to the Russian Valley, and we're going to drink wine, and we're having the debate between Springsteen and Dylan. And you took the corner for Bob Dylan.
I love both of those artists a great deal. But I think that Dylan's career, the diversity of music, the breadth that he covered, and the span. The man's 80 years old, and he's still recording pretty good albums. It's an amazing trajectory. He's got such a corpus of work. I love it.
And you tied him to a poet.
Rambo is the pronunciation. Yeah,
Okay.
he was influenced by a bunch of poets as well as a bunch of musicians, and consciously adopted poetic styling in the lyrics and the structure of the songs that he wrote.
We're going to hear this song, a famous song from Joan Baez, which is called Diamonds and Rust.
It's an amazing lament by her, a fantastic story of the difference that he made in her life and the impact that he had on the music scene of the time.
And one thing to keep in mind, and we'll talk about this later in a segment of the show, is that she was one of the people that grabbed him early in his career and really opened the New York City, Greenwich Village market to him.
Yeah, honestly, Bob was a middle-class kid who dropped out of college from Hibbing, Minnesota. And for him to show up in Greenwich Village looking like Woody Guthrie, singing like he was an itinerant hobo, was an amazing transformation.
And he actually met Woody while he was there, became friends with the family.
Yeah, he was thoughtful and intentional about who he engaged with and how he portrayed himself in New York and throughout his career.
One of the great lyric lines in this song by Joan Baez we're about to listen to is, "You burst on the scene already a legend, the unwashed phenomenon, the original vagabond." So let's hear music from Joan Baez right here.
Well, I'll be damned, here comes your ghost again. But that's not unusual, it's just that the moon is full and you happen to call. And here I sit, and on the telephone, hearing a voice I know a couple of light years ago, heading straight for a fall. As I remember, your eyes were bluer than robin's eggs. My poetry was lousy, you say. Where are you calling from? A booth in the Midwest. 20 years ago I bought you some cufflinks. You brought me something. We both know what memories can bring. They bring diamond and rust. I see you standing with brown leaves falling all around and snow in your hair. Now you're smiling out the window of the crummy hotel over Washington Square. Our breath comes out in white clouds, lingers and hangs in the air. Speaking strictly for me, we both could have died then and there. So good with words and at keeping things vague. 'Cause I need some of that vagueness now, it's all come back too clearly. I once loved you dearly, and if you're offering me diamond and rust, I've already paid.
the folks back east, they say, is leaving home every day, beating a hot old dusty way to the California line. Across the desert sands they roll, getting out of that old dust bowl. They think they're going to a sugar bowl, but here's what they find. Now the police at the port of Increase say, you're number 14,000 for today. Oh, if you ain't got the do-re-mi, folks, you ain't got the do-re-mi, why, you better go back to beautiful Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Georgia, Tennessee. California is a garden of Eden, a paradise to live in or see. But believe it or not, you won't find it so hot if you ain't got the do-re-mi. You want to buy you a home or farm that can't deal nobody harm, or take your vacation by the mountains or sea. Don't swap your old cow for a car, you better stay right where you are. You better take this little tip from me, 'cause I look through the want ads every day, but the headlines on the papers always say, if you ain't got the do-re-mi, boys, you ain't got the do-re-mi, why, you better go back to beautiful Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Georgia, Tennessee. California is a garden of Eden, a paradise to live in or see. But believe it or not, you won't find it so hot if you ain't got the do-re-mi.
Wandered so aimless, life filled with sin, I wouldn't let my dear Savior in. Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Just like a blind man, I wandered along, worries and fears I claimed for my own. Then like the blind man, that God gave back his sight. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I was a fool to wander and stray, for straight is the gate and narrow's the way. Now I have traded the wrong for the right. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light.
Music there from Hank Williams in a track called I Saw the Light. Of course, the legendary king of country music, Hank Williams. We also heard from Woody Guthrie in a track he's famous for, which is the Do-Re-Mi. And so we're taking a look at the early influences of Bob Dylan. And Mike, what are you thinking? I mean, you took a class on Dylan, right?
Yeah, Bob was deeply influenced by early Americana and country music singers. If you listen to his first 4 or 5 albums, all the songs are protest songs or songs about hobos on the lam, someone jumping on a train, people leaving town. In all of those songs, folks are on the move. They're trying to make their lives better.
Yeah.
And that really reflects what you saw in those early protest songs as well. Things are bad, but we're going to try to make them better. That's why Bob got labeled as such a successful folk and protest singer.
Well, Springsteen kind of follows him, right? I mean, he's got a huge influence on Springsteen, but Springsteen, he's singing about trains, he's singing about mansions on the hills. He's kind of grabbing that imagery that maybe comes out of the music of Guthrie and Hank Williams.
Yeah, there's no question that Bruce was influenced by Bob, but Bruce was also influenced by all of the people that influenced Bob. And in fact, both of those artists covered a bunch of songs by those musicians, even early in their careers. They were singing the songs by the people who made a difference to them, not just being influenced by them.
Well, I think that's one of the interesting things because they have the confidence to go out and grab songs by the great masters and kind of make them their own, And in a way, they're reintroducing the American listener to the music that came before, standing on their shoulders.
Yeah, the songs themselves and also the themes and the ideas behind those songs. A bunch of work by both of those artists really draws on that early Americana stuff. There were a whole bunch of beautiful new songs written by each of them that then got covered by other artists later.
So what is it? So Dylan kind of has this fixation on Woody Guthrie, but eventually that goes away. Do you have any idea why he kind of matures through that phase?
I'm really struck if you watch the progression of Dylan's albums. You've got that first collection of albums, Bob Dylan and Freewheelin' and Highway 61, fantastic albums. And as I said, everybody's on the move in those albums. They're always leaving. They're always going someplace.
Yeah.
And then there's a break. I think he has the motorcycle accident.
Okay, yeah.
And he comes out with Blonde on Blonde. And in that album, everybody is stuck. No one's going everywhere. You got songs like Visions of Johanna and Stuck Inside a Mobile with them. These are songs about not making progress anymore. I think as an artist, he felt he had tapped that early stuff out. Okay. And he wasn't able to move on in his own music. He needed to stop and do something different. And it was really driven by that sense of being trapped.
So is this kind of his first evolution? He's kind of a chameleon, and this is the first transition from the kind of the hobo folk singer to the electric Bob Dylan?
I think you can watch development happening over that time. He becomes a better musician. He's been doing a lot of performances. He's recording with a bunch of other artists. But full disclosure, I love that album, Blonde on Blonde, so much. But I think it's just an amazing, deep departure, and it is all Bob. It's Bob influenced also by different people, by poets from Italy in the 1600s and 1700s, for example.
Okay, so we're going to keep going then, and we're taking a look at his influences, and a couple of the influences we kind of outlined. Who do we pick?
I think it would be great to listen to Bob sing Let It Be Me, the Everly Brothers hit. And he covers that on the Self-Portrait album. And then I think we got to do Warren Smith. It's an unusual cut, Red Cadillac and a Black Mustache. It's a fantastic tune.
I bless the day I found you. I want to stay around you, and so I beg you, let it be me. Don't take this heaven from one if you must cling to someone now and forever. Let it be me. So never leave me lonely. Tell me you love me only, and that you'll always let it be me. Each time we meet, love, I find without your sweet love, what would life be? So never leave me lonely. Tell me you love me only, and that you'll always let been loving since I've been gone. Long, tall man with a red coat on. Good for nothing, baby, you've been doing me wrong. You've been loving since I've been gone. Ooh, you've been loving since I've been gone. Who's been playing around with you? Real cool cat with eyes of blue. Traveling, baby, you've been true. Who's been fooling around with you? Who's been fooling around with you? Somebody saw you at the break of day, down in it, dancing at the cabaret. He was long and tall, had plenty of cash. He had a red Cadillac and a black mustache. He held your head and he sang you a song. Who you been loving since I've been gone? Who you been loving since I've been gone? Somebody saw you at the break of day, dining and dancing at the cabaret. He was long and tall, had plenty of cash. He had a red Cadillac and a black mustache. He held your head, he sang you a song. Who you been loving since I've been gone? Who you been loving since I've been gone? You've been loving since I've been gone.
Turning the spotlight on the music of Bob Dylan this week. We're going to take a brief underwriter's break, and when we come back, music from Pete Seeger, right here on Pacific Street Blues and Americana.
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? The girls have picked them, every one. Oh, when will you ever learn? Oh, when will you ever learn? Where have all the young girls gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young girls gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young girls gone. They've taken husbands, everyone. Oh, when will you ever learn? Oh, when will you ever learn? Where have all the young men gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young men gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young men gone? They're all in uniform. Oh, when will you ever learn? Oh, when will you ever learn?
Well, you wake up in the morning, hear the ding-dong ring. You go marching to the table. You see the same old thing, well, it's all on one table. Knife, a fork, and a pan. If you say a thing about it, you're in trouble with the man. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a ever-loving light on me. If you ever go to Houston, and you better walk right. You better not stagger. You know you better not fight. The Sheriff Benson will arrest you. He'll carry you down. And if the jury finds you guilty, your penitentiary bound. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a ever-loving light on me. Hey, yonder comes Miss Rosie. How in the world did you know? Oh, well, I know her by her apron and the dress she wore, umbrella on her shoulder, piece of paper in her hand. She goes a-walking to the captain, said, turn loose of my man, let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a ever-loving light on me.
Music there from Odetta in a track there called Midnight Special. Now, most of you probably recognize that from maybe Creedence Clearwater Revival or the television program from the 1970s. It was also done, though, by Leadbelly, interestingly enough, but a version there by Odetta, an early influencer on Bob Dylan. Also, we heard from Pete Seeger in a track there called Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And we're taking a look, we're turning the Pacific Street Blues spotlight on the music of Bob Dylan on the show today and kind of taking a look at those that he influenced, those he was influenced by, the covers he does, and the people that cover him. And goodness knows there's a lot of people that covered him. And so to help me through that, of course, we have Mike Olson out of California, actually originally Kansas City.
Glad to be here, Rick.
It's good to have you. And so we're talking about Bob, and so we're taking a look at the people that were maybe helped open the door for him. And, of course, Joan Baez was probably one of the central figures that helped him early on in his career. And, of course, they had an affair, and it seems like Bob had a lot of relationships with women.
That's absolutely true. The relationship between the two of them was really important to both of them. Obviously, it was a love, I think, that she carried for her entire life.
Yeah.
But his fixation on her and what she did for him in those very early days in New York City really helped to put him on the map. Now, we're going to look at a bunch more artists who helped to put him on the map as well.
So what do you have a sense of what those early days were like? I mean, we've all we've been to Greenwich Village and seen the clubs that they kind of all began in, that whole sort of folk music sound. Richie Havens was back in there, and Hendrix ends up there.
You know, in those days, I think, first of all, Greenwich Village was where the artists hung out because they could afford to do it. Gentrified beyond belief now, of course. Some of those clubs still exist, and some of those open mic nights probably still happen. But at that time, it was a place where the folk artists of the day could get together, listen to one another, riff off one another, work together, and develop their own music over time.
And it's kind of interesting, is kind of a part of the repertoire was the ability to get up and play the old folk songs that were influential. So the Harry Smith anthology was instrumental kind of at this point, right?
That's exactly right. And also the discipline, the rules of how you played that folk music governed the development of the music at the time. You'll remember much later when Bob went electric, what a big scandal that was.
So let's kind of set this up. So he's playing the Newport Folk Festival, and Pete Seeger, one of his early benefactors, is kind of the guy in charge. And one of the rules is it's just you and a guitar, no drums ever.
That's right.
And so I think, if I remember correctly, Dylan was the first guy to have drums, and that was Willie Big Eyed Smith, who had played with, I think, Muddy Waters.
I'm going to take your word on all of that. I bet you're right.
But so Dylan goes electric, and that's kind of like anathema to the folk scene.
The crowd at the show was aghast, but more than that, it just blew out into the fan base that he had built up. Yeah. Now, it made a huge difference in his career. He was able to move beyond just that original stuff and begin to bring new influences and to create a new music of his own. But yeah, it was interesting that all of these countercultural, we don't want to listen to the man, no rules for us, fans of Bob's music hated the fact that he broke the rules at the Newport Festival.
Okay, and he did that. Mike Bloomfield, Al Cooper was in the band.
Is that right?
Yeah. I got an interview on this show, Al Cooper, one time, and he talked about having done that. So as we take a look at, though, the people that were early influences or opened the doors for Bob early in his career, of course, we took a look at Pete Seeger and also Odetta in that set of music, but we're going to take a look at a few others.
Well, these two folks were not only huge influences on Bob, but also really helped to open the door for him, particularly Johnny Cash. So I think we ought to listen to Johnny and June Carter Cash sing the song "It Ain't Me, Babe," which most of us probably know better from Sonny and Cher on the variety show. And then there's a fantastic duet between Bob and Johnny on Nashville Skyline of "Girl from the North Country." So I think those will be two excellent songs to listen to.
Go away from my window, leave at your own chosen speed. I'm not the one you want, babe. I'm not the one you need. You say you're looking for someone who's never weak, but always strong, to protect you and defend you, whether you are right or wrong. Someone to open each and every door, but it ain't me, babe. No, it ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for, babe. Go lightly from the ledge, babe. Go lightly on the ground. I'm not the one you want, babe. I'll only let you down. You say you're looking for someone who'll promise never to part, someone to close his eyes for you, someone to close his heart, someone to die for you and more, but it ain't me, me you're looking for, babe. You say you're looking for someone to pick you up each time you fall. To gather flowers constantly and to come each time you call. And we'll love you for your life and nothing more. But it ain't me, babe. No, 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 it ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for, babe.
If you're traveling to the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine.
See for me that her hair's hanging down. It curls and falls all down her breast. See for me that her hair's hanging down. That's the way I remember her best.
If you go when the snowflakes fall, when the rivers freeze and summer ends, please see for me if she's wearing a coat so warm to keep her from the howling wind.
If you're traveling in the North Country Fair,
where the winds hit heavy
on the borderline, please say hello to the one who lives there. For she was once a true love of mine. Traveling in the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there. For she once was a true love of mine. True love of mine.
A true love of mine.
True love of mine.
True love of mine.
True love of mine.
A true love of mine.
She was once a true love of mine.
see us together, chasing the moonlight, my cinnamon girl. Relaxes and wakes between shows for his cinnamon girl. I dream of pictures, I run in the night. You see us together, chasing the moonlight, my cinnamon girl.
Just before our ship got lost, you said, I am as constant as a northern star. And I said, you're just as silly as a northern fish. If you want me, I'll be in the bar. On the back of a cartoon coaster pad that didn't make me laugh at all, I drew a map of Canada, oh Canada, and I charted our last squall. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine, you taste so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I could drink a case of you, darling, and I'd still be on my feet. I would still be on my feet. Oh, I am a lonely painter. I live in a box of paint. I'm frightened by the devil, and I'm scared to death by saints. I remember when you told me love is touching souls. Surely it touched mine, you know, 'cause part of you pours out of me in black and white designs. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I could drink a case of you, darling, and I'd still be on my feet. I would still be on my feet. course, she knew your life. She knew your devils and your deeds, and she said, go to him, stay if you can, but be prepared to bleed. Oh, but you are my blood, you're my holy wine, you taste so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I could drink a case of you, darling, and I'd still be on my feet. I would still be on
Music there from
my
Joni
feet.
Mitchell, and that from the outtakes from the Blue album, the 50th anniversary, and a track there called A Case of You. We also heard from Neil Young and his song Cinnamon Girl, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with. Well, we're taking a look at the history, the legacy of Bob Dylan and his music in this Spotlight show, taking a look at some of his contemporaries. Influence that's going on. You got Dylan, of course, is becoming a superstar. And simultaneously, two Canadians, Joni Mitchell and Neil Young, are kind of traveling that same path.
Yeah, I think that's right. And, I think Neil in particular is funny because the people who don't like Bob, the people who don't like Neil, compare them to one another all the time. They don't sing well. Both Northerners, both singing super political protest songs, especially in those early years.
So what do you think, Dylan? He kind of rebels against the idea of being the protest singer.
Yeah, I talked a little while ago about my view of what happened when he released Blonde on Blonde. He was the voice of the generation for 6 or 8 years. And I think he just got tired of being that. He got tired of doing the same work over and over again and being required to do that work by his fans.
And he just didn't seem to like it at all.
Yeah, he disappeared for a while, was one thing. And then he very intentionally reinvented himself as a musician. And that was the story, by the way, of his entire career. He's a whole bunch of different kinds of musicians over that time because he wanted to be that, but also I think because he felt he had explored the existing genre deeply enough and wanted to go do new things and learn new things.
So as we're taking a look at these early kind of peers, contemporaries, of course, you got Neil Young, you got Joni Mitchell. A couple of the others that we took a look at include Phil Ochs and Ramblin' Jack Elliot. And so Phil Ochs, of course, was in Greenwich Village with him, kind of descended into drugs and alcohol, I think, eventually took his own life.
Well, I think we're going to be able to list some great songs by these two artists. Phil is going to cover Draft Dodger Rag. I think that's what we've chosen. And then there's a fantastic song. It's a public domain tune, but Ramblin' Jack covers it, called Freight Train. I love that song because I also know a version of that by Jerry Garcia and David Grisman many years later.
So you got to see Ramblin' Jack recently, you said.
In fact, he is well into his 80s, maybe even his 90s.
Wow.
He showed up in Berkeley and played at a beautiful outdoor venue, a little amphitheater among the redwoods, and did a fantastic job. He memorized the entire Americana song canon, no doubt, but he kept us entertained among the redwoods for an hour and a half.
Oh, I'm just a typical American boy from a typical American town. I believe in God and Senator Dodd, and I keep an old Castro down. And when it came my time to serve, I knew better dead than red. But when I got to my old draft board, buddy, this is what I said. Sarge, I'm only 18, I got a ruptured spleen, and I always carry a purse. I've got eyes like a bat and my feet are flat, and my asthma's getting worse. Yes, think of my career, my sweetheart dear, my poor old invalid aunt. Besides, I ain't no fool, I'm a-going to school, and I'm a-working in a defense plant. I got a dislocated disc and a racked up back, I'm allergic to flowers and bugs. And when the bombshell hits, I get epileptic fits, and I'm addicted to 1,000 drugs. I got the weakness woes, I can't touch my toes, I can hardly reach my knees. And if the enemy came close to me, oh, I'd probably start to sneeze. I'm only 18, got a ruptured spleen, and I always carry a purse. I've got eyes like a bat, and my feet are flat, and my asthma's getting worse. Yes, think of my career, my sweetheart dear, my poor old invalid aunt. Besides, I ain't no fool, I'm a-going to school, and I'm a-working in a defense plant. Ooh, I hate show and lie, and I hope he dies. But one thing you gotta see, that someone's gotta go over there, and that someone isn't me. So I wish you well, Sarge, give him hell. Kill me 1,000 or so,
And if you ever get a war without blood and gore, I'll be the first to go. Yes, I'm only 18, I got a ruptured spleen and I always carry a purse. I've got eyes like a bat and my feet are flat and my asthma's getting worse. Yes, think of my career, my sweetheart dear, my poor old invalid aunt. Besides, I ain't no fool, I'm going to school and I'm working in a defense plant.
Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. Don't tell 'em what train I'm on, so they won't know what route I've gone. When I die, just bury me deep down at the foot of old Chestnut Street, so I can hear old number 9 as she goes rolling by.
Music there from Ramblin' Jack Elliot as we take a look and explore the music of Bob Dylan. Just a reminder, there is an extended version of the show. It's exclusively online. Just Google Pacific Street Blues podcast, and you'll find about another 90 minutes worth of our exploration of the music. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, Mr. Tamborine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy and there ain't no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tamborine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you. Take me for a trip upon your magic swirling ship. All my senses have been stripped, and my hands can't feel to grip, and my toes too numb to step. Wait only for my boot heels to be wandering. I'm ready to go anywhere. I'm ready for to fade onto my own parade. Cast your dancing spell my way. I promise to go under it. Hey, Mr. Tamborine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy and there ain't no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tamborine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you.
from the band, of course, featuring guys like Robbie Robertson and Levon Helm, and I don't know if I can name them all. Garth Hudson.
No, I would have to go back and watch The Last Waltz again to remember who all was in that band.
So, band famous for backing up Dylan, and then we also heard from the Byrds, and the Byrds actually did very early in their career, actually, an entire album of Bob Dylan covers.
That Byrds album, the cover of all the Dylan songs, is a musically and artistically beautifully crafted piece of work.
Yeah.
And I got to admit, I kind of hate it. I like Bob's songs because Bob is always just behind the beat, just ahead of the beat. He's getting you to anticipate what he's going to sing. He can't do those beautiful, elaborate harmonies that those guys do, and the songs just don't sound right to me. Having said that, my wife doesn't like Bob. She loves that album.
I was reading the other day, I told you this earlier, Sonny Boy Williamson II, also known as Rice Miller, Alec Miller was his birth name. He was playing with the Hawks. Before they became the band, they were Ronnie Hawkins and the Hawks. And so legend has it that had Sonny Boy lived, he could have ended up in Bob Dylan's band. Now, of course, that's just pure speculation, but how interesting that is.
It was the ferment of the times. And, I think the band, as it developed, as it became Bob Dylan's backup band, was really a fantastic collection of talented session musicians and even folks who had good solo careers. But they were a great, great backup band for Bob.
All right, so we were talking a little bit about Peter, Paul, and Mary, and also Nina Simone as bands that were happening that were heavily influenced by Dylan.
Yep.
Any thoughts on Peter, Paul, and Mary?
No, fantastic group and beautiful music, but nothing specific.
So we're going to hear "Blowin' in the Wind," perhaps their big hit and one of Bob Dylan's most famous songs, "Blowin' in the Wind."
It's got to be on the top 20.
Okay, and Nina Simone, "Just Like a Woman."
How many roads must a man walk down before they call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years must a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? How many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? How many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? How many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? How many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
She takes just like a woman. Yes, she does. And she makes love just like a woman. And she aches just like a woman. But she breaks like a little girl. Nobody feels any pain. Tonight as I stand inside the rain, everybody knows that baby's got new clothes. Lately I see her ribbons and her bows, and the problems from her curls. She takes just like a woman. Yes, she does. And she makes love just like a woman. And she aches just like a woman. And she breaks like a little girl. It was raining from the first. Everybody knows I was dying of thirst. So I came here a long time's curse. And what's worse is this pain. Yeah, I can't stay in here. Introduced as friends, please don't let on that you knew me when I was hungry, and it was your word. I take just like a woman. Yes, I do. And I make love just like a woman. And I just like a woman. But I break just like a little girl.